What is going on, Nuggets Nation, NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. I do apologize for not being able to get an episode out yesterday. You know, life comes at you sometimes, and unfortunately, you can't get to everything, and I was not able to get to a podcast episode yesterday, but I am back today, and I have, a lot to cover, actually, in the next couple of days, because there's been nonstop, signings, injuries, I've had predictions for things that I wanted to get out, and actually one of the topics in this obviously, sort of affects that, but we'll get into that. Now, the first thing I want to bring up, something that happened a couple days ago for those of you who are unaware, the Nuggets gave Javonte McCoy a 10-day exhibit, or I guess an attempt to compete for a roster spot. It's not guaranteed, obviously, same as Kessler Edwards. It's a training camp contract, same as Moses Brown, so they brought in Javonte McCoy, and 6'5" guard. He is 180 pounds. He is about 27 years old. I got to say, I don't understand it. I don't love it. I think that, 10 points per game in the G League. He's been in the G League since 2022. This past year, when you going back and look at his stats, it wasn't anything special to me. I mean, throughout his 3 years in 2022, 2023, he averaged 14 points. This year, he averaged 10. He was shooting around 8.5 or a little over 8.5 field goals per game, shooting at a 48.6% clip, taking three-pointers a game, shooting at 25%. If you're going to bring in a guard and it's not going to be a shooter, I think there's people on the market that can do that. I think a guy named by the likes of Ben Simmons can do that, and he's 6'10". I just don't really understand it. You have Curtis. If this is how it's going to be, and I know they're on two ways. If it's going to be that you're going to go with a younger, younger talent at point guard, then you might as well go with just bring up next year whenever the two-way expires, Tamar Bates, or sign him for the rest of the remainder of the year at the end of that deadline, or Curtis Jones, whoever that may be. I don't think it really makes much sense. I do understand the signings of Moses, and I do understand the signing of Kessler Edwards to fight for that contract spot, but I think there are vet guards on the market. I think that we all know Russell Westbrook's still there. I know that maybe he wants more money, and that's why he's not coming back to Denver right now, but there are definitely names in the market that can help this Denver Nuggets team out that aren't Javonte McCoy, if I'm being honest with you. Now, the next guy I want to talk about for Denver is actually a player who is took a huge leap last year, and I think that he was one of the most, not that I think, but I know that he was one of the most efficient players in the NBA when it came to just scoring from almost anywhere on the court, and that is Christian Braun. Now, I think that there is a lot expected of Christian Braun this year, and I don't know if we're going to get what we want to see, if that makes any sense to you guys. I think that last year we saw him put up around 15 points per game. That's a high number for the fifth scorer on a team. Right? And I know it's weird to say that he's the fifth scorer because he's the fifth starter. And I know, you think about it, Aaron Gordon's going to get shots before he does. Not all the time. MPJ 100% was getting more shots. Jamal was getting more shots. Jokic was getting more shots. I understand Jokic set him up. I do not expect us to see another year of Christian Braun averaging 15 points per game. I really don't. I think that we see him, the decrease in points per game. I think that there is going to be more of Julian Strawther and Tim Hardaway Jr. getting in there for those offensive minutes, especially off the bench. If it were to come down to, key moments of the game or later moments, if we need fresh legs, they're going to be in there, I think, for a guy like Christian Braun. I do think we see him pick it up defensively. I think that it's also a contract year for him. So it's a little tough because you're looking at it as, he's looking at it as a contract year, but he's also looking at it as a year for him to win a finals. So the extension is going to be dependent on how Denver does with him this upcoming season. But like I said, I don't think we see 15 points per game. I think, and not that I think, but I think, I guess so. But we need to see Christian Braun rebound more than anything right now. You're losing the second most rebounds per game on your team last year in MPJ. So you got to hope that Cam can maybe get those rebounds. But you also got to make sure that Christian Braun can make up those rebounds as well and be a guy who can actually go ahead, grab offensive rebounds, grab those hustle rebounds, make sure that Denver is winning the hustle ball at majority of, if not all the time, for this upcoming season. So I think Braun can still make an impact, but I don't think that we see another 15-point per game year from Christian Braun. The next topic I want to cover is what I was talking about before, and unfortunate news for the Houston Rockets. And, I've continued to cover this entire offseason. They're my favorite to win the NBA Finals or to win the Western Conference in the regular season. They can give the Nuggets a push. Unfortunately, Fred VanVleet had just torn his ACL. So it's tough. It's definitely tough for the Rockets. It's a tough loss. You never want to see. I would never be the type of person to say good that somebody got hurt. You never want to see a type of injury like that, especially on a team that is, they extended him. They brought in Kevin Durant. They really have an opportunity to make a push for the finals. And I still think that their team is technically good enough. But it is tough to see a guy like Fred VanVleet, who's done nothing but work his behind off, to go from a bench player in Toronto to a starting caliber point guard on a championship, or I guess a bench point guard on a championship team, a starting caliber point guard on a multiple time playoff team now. So prayers up to Fred VanVleet, and I really hope that he does recover soon. I am interested to see what Houston does in that point, or in that regard, and see who they replace him with, and that's something I'm going to cover in one of the next few episodes, because I think there's a lot of stuff going around in the league right now. But like I said, it definitely affects this next topic, and this next topic is what my rankings are for this upcoming season. This is just, I guess, my power rankings for right now. I did want to say standings, but like I said, I can't really say that now with Freddie going on the the injured block for the entire year, or the injured list for the entire season for the Houston Rockets. But I broke it down. I'm going from 15 to 1 in the Western Conference. I do think the Jazz are going to be the last team in the NBA. I did want to say the Pelicans, but I don't know if you guys saw the picture that just surfaced of Zion, and I can't even explain. He's the skinniest I've ever seen him. He doesn't look real, but I'm wondering if that affects his game off positively or negatively. If it does affect them positively, I was gonna put them at 14, but after seeing Zion, I do want to move them up. I'm going to go Jazz at 15. I'm going to go Blazers at 14, because I think they do move on from Drew Holiday eventually in the season. I'm going to go Pelicans at 13. My 12 is the Suns. My 10 is the Kings. My 9 is the Grizzlies. 8 is the Spurs. Mavs are 7. Warriors are 6. Wolves are 5. Lakers are 4. Sorry, I missed out on a team here. Jazz are at 15. Blazers are at 14. Pelicans are at 13. The 12 is the Suns. The 11 is the Kings. The 10 is the Grizzlies. The 9 is the Spurs. The 8 are the Mavericks. The 7 are the Warriors. The 6 are the Timberwolves. The 5 are the Lakers. The 4 are the Clippers. The 3 are the Rockets, now with the Fred VanVleet injury. The 2 are the Thunder, and the Nuggets are the 1 seed. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Nuggets fan. I genuinely think that if this team does stay healthy, knock on wood, that they can be the best team in the Western Conference again, and retake that throne from the Thunder, especially with the Thunder losing their backup center, their backup rookie center, who was a top 20 pick in this past NBA draft. Anyway, that is all I got for you guys this episode. Like I said, there's a lot more to get to and cover now in this offseason that, things are actually happening. So I'll get to some more stuff tomorrow for you guys, but that's all I got. Hit that like and comment, or like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you guys want me to cover anything, and I'll see you guys next episode.